Yo, what's up, guys? We are Martial Club. We just finished training at Open Gym, and we're in the parking lot right now. We're about to do a review on the new Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon movie, which premiered on Netflix like 2 days ago. So before going into the film, we actually did our own Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon fan film. If you haven't seen it, click here. We did a lot of research on like the story. We learned it was based on a series of novels called The Crane Iron Pentology. The first movie was based off of the fourth book, and the movie that just came out is based off this the fifth book, right?
Yeah.
Fifth book called Iron Knight Silver Base.
I think you have to go into it knowing that it's going to make a lot of deviations from the plot.
Yeah,
In fact,
thought
the
so.
original Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was very different than the book. Even though a lot of the core elements were there, it's like almost, you can say, basically a different story. And I think if you go into that with that mindset, for those of you who've read the book, then you'll be okay. They did keep a little bit of the story. Some of the core elements are still there.
Some of the characters,
Yeah.
like the main villain wasn't in the book.
Right.
In the books, I remember. Again, but which movies aren't like that, right?
I know,
Always
right,
deviates
yeah.
from the. And action-wise, it definitely wasn't the first Ang Lee film.
Oh, yeah.
Yuen Woo-ping definitely brought his own flavor to the table, and in this sense, it works because when has Yuen Woo-ping ever let us down?
Right.
Remember
Remember
that? Yes. Legend.
Gospel truth,
Yes.
basically. I think the action in the second movie had its high points and its low points, and that's because of the assortment of the cast. You have a lot of varieties of experiences. Like you got Michelle Yeoh and Donnie Yen. They've been doing this for decades, and you can see that they're at home in this movie. And but you also have people who are, I think, doing this for the first time.
Oh, by the way, the girl actress Natasha, or the girl who's played Snowface, she was cute. Too bad I took a vow of celibacy. Tongs of I fall! Kung Fu only.
It's okay.
I'm married to Kung Fu. No girls for me. Sorry, ladies.
Dude, you probably just broke a lot of hearts right there.
What is true? And wires, some people may say, it might be too excessive, but for us, because we know wires are very iconic in the wuxia genre,
Yeah.
we actually took it for what it was, and we really enjoyed it. We did wish they used actors that were more trained in martial arts, only because we're us, To the untrained eye, it wouldn't bother them, but to us, we kind of see it. But to be quite honest, they did pretty well for actors who've never done martial arts before. Yuen Woo-ping is really good at always making actors who've never done martial arts before look
That's
cool.
his specialty.
Yes.
Like, he knows, because he does. I heard he doesn't even do martial arts himself, but that's always been his talent. He knows what looks good on screen, and he knows how to transplant that onto people even if they have no experience.
Yes.
And he did that just like he always does.
I felt like the overall feel of the second one was more tight and action-packed. It was more intricate, while the first one was more wide and more wushu-y,
Right.
very flowery,
Right, okay,
and more light. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
if that makes sense. It's hard to describe it. I'm just trying to describe it off the top of my head. But yes, that's how I felt. And I feel like, for me personally, I enjoyed the first one more because that's what sets the stone. But obviously the second one didn't follow the formula of the first action, but it still stood very strong on its own, so I really enjoyed that. Oh, by the way, did you guys dig the Donnie part when he did the tiger crane?
Got him.
That was my favorite part of the
Donnie
film.
always gets him.
Yes, every time, I don't know why, but every time we see Hong Ga being used on film, we always
Yeah. It hits the spot,
it's home for us.
As a story, how did the second movie compare to the first? Well, I'm just gonna say this: the first movie was a work of art. I think it's very hard to hold a candle to it, and I don't think the sequel quite did that. And a couple reasons why. I think part of it is the sheer size of the cast. The first movie didn't have that many characters, but a lot of time was taken to develop each character, and a lot of time was taken to show
The chemistry
how
between you.
Right,
Yes.
right. The interaction between the characters was very intricately showed on the screen. Whereas in this new movie, you've got lots of characters, very colorful, but there's so many and very little time to develop each character. And also, since it's a sequel, it's counting on you to know what happened in the first movie, and that might not necessarily be the case. Also-
Knowing the book helped though. Knowing
Right,
a bit
right,
about the
right.
book
If
helped
you've
a
done
lot.
your research on the book, you'll appreciate a lot in this movie. But I think the overall feel of the movie is different than the first movie. The first movie is a very Chinese movie. One, because it was written by a Chinese guy. The screenplay was written by a Chinese person. And also just Confucian and Buddhist virtues are woven into the very
Confucian, Zen,
fabric
Taoist.
of the script, and it's just like it pervades the atmosphere of the movie. Whereas the second one, it has more of a Lord of the Rings type of feel, and I think it just has to do with the writing. Not that it was bad, but like you have to have lived and breathed these virtues and ethics in order to show them properly on screen. And I think you'll see a lot of that in the second movie. It doesn't feel like the first movie.
Overall, the second movie didn't match the standards of the first movie, because for us, you know, the first movie is the original. It's hard to always top the first movie. But the second movie, it stood strong on its own, and I'm kind of glad it had its own, you know, feel going on for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that it looks different, you know, like the screen.
Yes.
It's very like filtered, and it definitely has like a different.
Like it's saturated.
Yeah. The director of photography definitely.
Don't worry about it. Just keep going.
Of course. Who do you think it is who's interrupting our video? Always the same person.
Hey, Brian.
I think he's interrupted every vlog we've made, like ever.
No, I'm in Cerritos. We just finished training.
You waste all our film! But yeah, I do like that it looks different than the first film. I think if they tried to copy everything they did in the first film, they would have failed. I like that the DP like made it a very like filtered movie, and it looked very like fantastic. It had that fantasy element, and that's another reason why I think The Waters work. And in that regard, it's a very beautiful movie and definitely worth a watch.
This guy with the top. If you guys like our videos, make sure to support us on Patreon. Martial Club shirts are now for sale. Link is in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, all that good stuff. Anyway, see you for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 3, maybe. Wink, wink. Just kidding. I wish. That would be a dream for us. Anyway, is that it? I think that's it. Yes, that's it. Martial Club out. Okay.